what are some tips and tools that you think would help people develop the discipline to be able to sit down and make 30, 45, or 60 calls a day?
Have your manager ride your back until you do it.
Right.
I mean, honestly, I don't know of a place or an educational path that you can take to prepare you for that.
Yeah.
It just takes someone who has a desire to sell to want to do it.
Yeah.
But I can tell you this, when you finally decide that you're going to sit down and do your due diligence,
yeah,
you're going to start to have the success necessary to reach the income levels that you're after, right? So it's directly tied to how much money you want to make. You have a podcast called you got to get a license, and then you have that other one that says you got to make those calls to make that money. I mean,
you got to do it.
That's right, a whole different podcast, right?
Right. Getting the license is the first step.
Sitting there, man, every day, every evening, even after your work day is done, during the day, if you have events and things like that, you still got to make those calls. If you don't make the calls, guess what? Sales aren't coming unless you got a book of business that's just being sent to you. And most companies don't work that way. But even if the book of business is being sent to you, you still got to make the call.
Still got to make the call. Still got to reach out.
You got to reach out. And people can hear in your voice when you do call. They understand, if you're taking your time and explaining things thoroughly, if you're, making small talk and being concerned about them, because people buy from people they like.
Yeah.
And nobody cares what you're selling until they know you care.
Absolutely.
And so we have to have that empathy. We've got to take care of the people that we're speaking to, and we've got to make sure that we're empowering them to be able to make a conscious decision about this product. Not, hey, I want you to make, this is what's right for you, and I want you to buy it, and here's what it costs, sign on the dotted line. That's never that's not going to work in any high percentage sales, because it's not going to bring you a high percentage of returns in your sales process, because people will feel like, wait a minute, you just want to sell me something.
Yeah.
You're not trying to help me. So along with making those calls, you really got to make sure that the person is educated, is empowered to be able to make a conscious decision. Just I want to share this because it's important for me to be considered, or to be looked at as a person who works in honesty and integrity. It's important for me to be recognized as someone who really want to help the industry and not hurt it.
Right.
And not to make the quick sale, but to empower. That's important to me.
Yeah.
And prior to you calling me, I was actually tapped by my company to talk about how I retain my members. Kevin, how do you keep these members? How do you keep them from going to other agents or agencies? How do you keep them? And honesty and integrity was the biggest thing. And then transitioning, because I share my ability to sing, they actually asked me to sing a song representing what it took. And I chose Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong, because I always open it up saying, one thing we can agree on is that we need a little bit more love.
Yeah.
You gave a little bit more love, and I gave a little bit more love. And we gave a little bit more love to our members. What a wonderful world this would be. I see trees of green. That just like put the icing on the cake for the meeting.
Yeah.
Had I not shared that I sing, they would not have asked me to do it.
Yeah.
But everybody felt like, that song really fit, because in fact, we want to love on the people that insurance is an important decision for people. And we have to make sure that we treat it with kindness and go forth and make plenty of money while helping people.
That's it, man. It's such a beautiful beautiful bridge, because it does allow you to, have an incredible, career with, some very substantial income, and it also allows you to really do something good for others as well. I do want to shift a little bit, to the income piece, and while I'm listening to you, I'm having like, more things that I want to discuss, but I also want to keep the flow of the conversation going as well. Um, just share with me, um, how has your lifestyle been affected by having a license, working in the insurance industry? What is like one thing that you say, hey, I can do this now, or I have done this, that prior to getting the license I either didn't do, or maybe I didn't have, the resources to do?
Yeah. So the first thing is I had a 30-year dream. Uh, when I first moved into my house, I wanted to build a studio in my backyard.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, that studio is under construction.
Awesome.
And it's all because of the money that has been allowed through the insurance industry. The other thing is the freedom. When you work for corporate America, when you work in a place from which you have to be in a building 9 to 5 or whatever your hours are, with a 1 hour lunch break, there's restrictions. If I want to go to a doctor's appointment, I don't have to take off. If I want to take a day off, I can take a day off and map that, of course. But if I decided to, in an emergency, do something different in my day, it's not going to have a huge effect, because the flexibility is unbelievable in this business. The flexibility is one of the things I love about it the most.
Right. Right. No doubt. No doubt, man. Hey, that the flexibility, and congratulations on the studio as well. I certainly can't wait to get by to see that. I definitely want to take you up on that. So for you, how do you stay motivated?
I was sitting just a few days ago, and this may not pertain to everybody, but I was sitting a few days ago, just sort of meditating at lunch in the afternoon. And one, I was just thanking God for being in this situation I'm in, because as you know, I had the cancer and I was out of work for a whole year, and
Yep.
my body is not 100% because there are pieces and parts missing in terms of my skeletal structure. But I was sitting there and I was thanking God, and then saying, Lord, I trust you for my sales today.
Yes.
And all that did really was mentally got me prepared to do what I know I needed to do anyway.
Yes.
Right. So I just, once you've thanked God in advance for something happening, now you have to take the steps necessary to get there. See, people who sit back and pray and do nothing, don't expect it to come. It may, yes, but don't expect it to come out of nowhere. You got to do something. And so that was like putting the carrot before the rabbit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
God, I thank you in advance for my success today. Absolutely. But I had to get moving on that. And then sometimes what motivates me is money. Not always, because right. I'm not a greedy guy, right?
Right.
But when I know that, I can go to Ruth Chris and take my wife to dinner,
yeah,
which we just did last weekend, right? Without having to say how much is the food or what, what is it going to cost me or how, it doesn't matter. Right. I want to please my wife. Right. There you go. When we grow up, we're conditioned to do everything to keep a woman happy. We don't buy nice cars for ourselves, right? You don't buy a big house just for you,
right?
Right? you do things
Yeah.
to keep, you know, the woman in your life happy, whether that's your mother, sister, you know, wife, girlfriend.
No doubt.
And so, you know, we're driven by that. I'm driven by that. I want my wife to be able to say my husband loves me because because he takes me places, because he, you know, not that she can't take herself. I mean, she's a manager as well.
Right.
But at the same time, I want to feel good about the fact that I can step up when I need to.
Yeah.
And having that dream of having my studio. Right.
Absolutely.
I
Yes.
mean, when I think about the fact that that's got to get finished, the money is there to finish it, but what else am I going to need